You know, I say to people, pastors, lawyers, and doctors, what we know, only few people know. So yes, women cheat a lot. Don't allow your next to suffer for the sins of your ex. There are even 35-year-old people that are still immature, that are not financially strong. So once you are matured enough, because marriage is a responsibility, marriage is hard work. You see, all the emotion and mushy of marriage is just a fraction of the whole equation. When school fees eats you, house rent eats you, and the real life eats you, you face reality. When we talk about love, what is your definition of love? The world defines love as a feeling, but love is not a feeling. A lot of men see an industrious woman. They are attracted to it, but when they get married, they are threatened by it.
You're welcome to this channel. This is Money Mindset Mastery. On this channel, we teach you how to make money, how to manage your money, how to sustain your money, and how to grow generational wealth. If you're interested in joining a community of like-minded people who are passionate about making money, kindly click the link in the description below. There we share information about this channel and updates on this platform. If you're interested in ordering any book, kindly click the link in my description below and send me a message directly to my WhatsApp, and the book will be delivered to you. Enjoy the rest of this video.
The vision has come to pass.
Yes. Thank you very much. All right, so let's go straight into it, because I told him that we usually have hot topics on the show, but I just wanted us to get a lot of information from you. You've been writing books for your life. You've been training people. We can't have you here and not learn. Everybody here must leave this place changed. Your mindset, how you see life, how you see your marriage, how you see your home, everything must change after this episode. And that's why I wanted us to make good use of Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. Remember, I've done a bit, and I'll come to you for questions and answers. So please be ready to ask. So 2 years ago, you went viral. There was an interview you did with Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo, which totally shattered the internet because people were hearing your story for the first time, and there were lots of questions. Even though, yes, people made a lot of comments, but and for those who don't know, Dr. Olumide he was married to somebody who had 2 previous marriages, and she had divorced them, and then she married him, and he divorced her, and he's married to somebody else, and they had 2 kids before, and he hasn't seen his children since then. I'm not sure if the story has changed by now, but now he's happily married to his beautiful wife. She's upstairs. She's coming downstairs soon. But going back to that story, first question is, sir, have you seen your kids since that story went viral and the whole world knew about it?
No.
Have you seen? You still haven't seen your children? That's over 20 years. Or 20 years now. About 20 years now.
2000 I saw them last 2008.
2008. Wow.
2008, 2020. So like
So it's
18
about
years.
18 years. So you haven't seen your. So even with that virality, nobody reached out to you. Now right.
Not, of course, people reached out
Of
like,
course.
oh, we didn't know.
Yeah,
Why didn't
yeah.
you say anything? We
Right.
didn't know. You kept quiet. But of course,
So my question, we're going to go back a bit.
okay.
How does a Christian man who's supposed to have all the information
Okay.
decide to to marry somebody who many have preached to us? And when somebody has a baggage, you've been divorced twice, red flag. Because if a teacher, if a counselor is telling any of our young people, they say, she has married twice, 2 divorcee, red flag, run away, don't marry her. That's what they'll say. But you went ahead to marry someone like that. Do you have any regrets? Or do you think that you did not take your own advice during that season?
Okay, well, I don't have regrets. I have lessons.
Okay.
Now, the first thing you need to understand is that Christianity is not a religion. What many people practice in this part of the world is religion, and religion is judgmental, religion is hypocritical, religion segregates people, and everybody has their answer. So it's not as if you saw someone that has a problem and you jumped in. When I met my ex, yes, she's been married, and when I met and I found out that she's been married, the first relationship was not marriage as in going to court.
Yeah.
They did traditional exchange, whatever.
Yeah.
The second one was the real marriage.
Right,
But
yeah.
if you hear the story,
Yeah.
she's gone through a lot.
Yeah.
So what she went through was part of the trauma that shaped what. So it's like I was now suffering for what other people have done.
Right.
And that's why I tell people, don't allow your next to suffer for the sins of your ex.
Okay.
So the first person she had in her life was a pastor, and they've done all the traditional, and then she traveled abroad to meet with him, and then he now said that in their family she has to get pregnant first before they finally do the finance. She said, no, I can't do that. So she left because of that. That's not a wrong thing to do. So I can't judge her for that.
Right.
The second marriage she entered into, they got married legally, everything was done well, only to get home and the man could not perform.
Yeah.
And the man could not perform. And in trying to find out what's happening, when did this one start, the man was angry against her that you are a witch. You are the one that made me not be able to perform because I've been doing it with this person.
Yeah.
So apparently the chief bridesmaid was having something with the man.
Wow.
So by the time they got married, there was nothing that could happen. So it's like the man brought out a gun and shot her. So you can imagine all that trauma she's
Yeah,
gone through.
yeah.
So by the time I was coming into the picture and she shared that, I said, oh, that's not a problem. Those are not your fault. God can heal you.
So I get that part, but
yeah.
would you advise a young man today to go through that, to see a girl who probably has this kind of history to go ahead and marry
Of course, if you are led to do that and you believe it's the right thing to do, I'm 100% sure that it was the will of God for me to be in that marriage. 100%. But the fact that something is the will of God does not mean it will turn out right, because it takes two to make a marriage work. One person cannot make marriage work.
Okay.
So that's it. So
There's another question I had concerning that experience. After your wedding,
yeah.
the first day, I think you talked about the fact that your mother wanted to welcome her. You know how family welcome, wash your feet and everything. And then she totally resisted that and walked out of the marriage. Now, a reasonable young man would be advised, uncle, can't dissolve that marriage. Like, are you okay? That was a red flag right there. Didn't that occur to you at that moment, or were you blinded by love? I'm driving to the power of the love you had.
Yeah, I understand, because you see, before we got married, the courtship, I broke the relationship.
Yeah.
Before we got married.
Right.
But you see, as Christians, there are dynamics to our walk with God that people may not understand. So I'm sure this is the person that I need to marry, but I'm also sure that I need to have brain.
Okay.
So I look at things, even if it's the will of God, if these things are not okay, it must be rectified. So the first time I broke the relationship was about a few months into the relationship. We went somewhere because of time. We went somewhere and she wanted me to package.
Yeah.
And I did not. Okay, bottom line, we went to our pastor.
Okay.
And she said, when we get there, if he asks you, when are we getting married?
Don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
Yeah.
No. Just tell him we are still praying. I said, oh, no, we have fixed a date. Why should we go and be lying?
Right.
I mean, a man of God is a man of God. So what's that? So when we got there, this is a great man of God in the country.
Yeah.
So we got there, you know, the way they respect men of God. But me, I respect him, but I'm also a man of God.
Right.
So when he asked me when are you getting married, I told him. So he said, okay, no. So when we now got into the car, what do you mean? You are so arrogant. You think because you're a pastor, is he your mate? You look at your small church, look at his big church. I'm like, and this is the person you want to marry. This is not okay. So we kept, and she just went on and on and on and on. And I'm like, listen, I don't believe in packaging. That's a lie. We already know it's not our God.
Right.
If we are mature, we should know what we want to do and tell him. So she was, and when we got to Antonio, okay, I will never forget where Trem is now. No, I will slap you. Eh? But I say, sorry, what did you say? You will slap me? You mean you can slap a man? That day I got to him and said, you know what? I left. There was no GSM there. So I got back and I wrote a letter. I sent the letter with, I said, come, I believe it's of God, but this is your trauma. I can help you. You need, it's not prayer you need, it's not deliverance you need. You need psychotherapy, counseling, you need this, and I can help you go through that process. But I will not be a party to this kind of abuse. Right. So I sent that. Now look at the link. On the Sunday, I needed to go and return some things because she's bought me some stuff. So I needed to go and return all the things she has bought for me. Yeah. When I got there to return what she has bought for me, when the brother came to open the door, he screamed, he's here, he's here, he's here. I'm like, he's here?
What's happening?
What does that mean? Apparently, when she got to church on Sunday morning, she met with the pastor, and the pastor said, congratulations, finally, you have seen a good man to marry. He said, he has left me. He said, what happened? He now told the pastor, he said, you better go and look for that man. That's your husband, that God has blessed you with a good man. He said, how do I do it? I said, I don't even. He said, okay, no problem, that we're going to pray. That if it is the will of God for you, before 10 p.m. tonight, he will use his leg to walk into your house.
And that's when you came.
So I was not aware of that. So even though I made up my mind, so by the time I come, I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. I knew I had God.
Right.
Even though there is a crisis, this is now like, okay, then let's face it. So that's it. So it's not that you should just go and jump and be stupid and be foolish. No. Okay. But people have issues in their life, and a lot of people go around with traumas. Right. But the problem of religion is that we try to cover everything with prayer. Okay. But ignorance is not a demon. You can't cast it out. Okay. And you cannot pray your way out of a problem that you behaved your way into. So there has to be a lot of adjustment because you have a spirit, soul, and body. A lot of people are spiritual giants, but they are emotional dwarfs. When you see a madman on the street, his spirit is alive. His body is alive. It's his mind that is messed up. So there are people moving around like normal people. They are not normal. Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to forget this question. A few weeks back, we had Mr. Fashola in this place. And I had asked him a question that in our own Bible, we're taught that thou shalt not be unequally yoked with an unbeliever. And I asked that question because I know of a woman, 55-year-old woman, who had sent me a DM many years ago. She said, Muriel, that scripture failed me because I fell in love with a Muslim. We grew up together, we loved each other. But because I was being told I should not be unequally yoked, I had to break it up. She's 55 years old now. The man has gone on to marry another Christian. They have a beautiful home together and they have about 3 children. And every single day, she regrets that scripture. So you're a man of God, I'm asking you, that scripture, as a lot of people have said, don't be unequally yoked. Is this something that, we should believe the Bible says, but people have used that and they've missed out on the love of their life. Does that still hold today? Should we continually, as Christians, say, do not be unequally yoked with an unbeliever?
Listening to this message, I won't lie, I'm not married yet, but I'm already learning what not to do. For those not married yet, it's good to start learning now, because a lot of people think marriage problem just happen randomly. But most times, the signs were always there from the beginning. So according to Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, one of the biggest mistakes people make is entering marriage emotionally instead of intention. But the truth is, love is not enough. Yes, love is important, but love alone cannot sustain a marriage. And this is where many people get it wrong. They rely only on prayer, they rely only on emotions, because emotion how our parents sustain their home despite they don't know God much, just that the both of them are contributing their parts in the marriage. But nowadays, people only prepare for wedding that is one day and not prepare for marriage that is for a lifetime. He made something very powerful clear. Marriage is not a miracle, it's a system. If you don't understand the system, you will suffer inside it. He also talked about something very deep, past trauma. We need to heal very fast when we get hurt, because unconsciously we might transfer that pain into the next relationship. And that's how many people suffer. But do you know that one wrong decision can cost you your life, your peace, and time? So before we continue, I want you to think about this. Are you preparing for your future or just hoping things will somehow work out?
Now, when the Bible says unequally yoke, it's an agricultural term that has to do with farming, animal husbandry. So when people go to farm, they have the farming appliance, then they have the cows or the sheep that carry the yoke. Now, you cannot carry a fat cow and a lean cow and put load upon them. One of them will suffer for the other. So when the Bible says don't be unequally yoked, it simply means don't go into a covenant relationship with someone that does not share your values and your vision. So it's not about religion. It's about your value. So even in Christianity, you should not be unequally yoked. MFM should not marry Christ Embassy. Because even though you are both born again, your value system are different. So when MFM say come out, he said, no, I'm a new Christian in Christ Jesus. You see, now they are both Christians. So unequal yoke is not about religion, it's about value system. So if you as a Christian choose that you want to go and marry someone that is not in your religion, that is your choice. But it doesn't mean that God is in that choice. And it doesn't mean that the choice will be wrong or that the choice will not work. Because even when two Christians marry themselves, what makes a marriage work is the two people in the marriage playing their part in the marriage.
Fantastic.
Our parents have been married as unbelievers. None of them knew God. They did what should be done and they made it work. People are born again today. They are inside the marriage. Everybody is selfish, carnal, and self-centered, and it's not working. So it's not about religion, it's about individual values.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to ask one more question, but I hope you guys are gearing up. Any questions, let me know so that the mic can be passed around. Let's talk about religion a moment, because there's something religion does to us. It conditions our mind, especially when it comes to the area of love. And we are always we have to marry a certain time, certain age. Like at this age, you should be married, but not by that age, you should have children, And they plan this out. And when things don't work out that way, people always feel like, I don't feel fulfilled. I feel that there's something wrong. And then we keep going back and forth to pray. As a man who has led people, at this day and age, should there still be a timeline when it comes to these areas of marriage and love?
You get married when you are matured. Maturity does not come with age. It comes with the ability to handle responsibility. Now, when we talk about maturity, there are 7 areas of maturity you need to have before you get married. If you have deficiency in any of those areas, it will show when you marry. But it doesn't mean that it cannot be rectified. You need to be spiritually matured. You need to be emotionally matured. You need to be physically matured. You need to be mentally matured. You need to be financially matured. You need to be socially matured. And you need to be morally matured. So these 7 areas of maturity must be there before you get married. But you can't get all the maturity at 20 or 21 or 24. So sometimes there are even 35-year-old people that are still immature, that are not financially strong. So once you are matured enough, because marriage is responsibility. Marriage is hard work. You see, all the emotion and mushy of marriage is just a fraction of the whole equation. When school fees eats you, house rent eats you, and the real life eats you, you face reality. So those are the things. So once you are matured, fine. Then when we talk about love, what is your definition of love? The world defines love as a feeling, but love is not a feeling. Love is a choice. Love is a choice that involves a feeling. In any relationship, feelings will come, feelings will go. But your choice must be constant. Even if you have children, the children you give birth to, there are times that you say, "Okay, I love you, leave me." It doesn't mean you don't love them anymore. But at that point, you are not feeling, you need your space. So even if you are married, it doesn't mean because we are married, we'll just be there. Sometimes you just go, babe, please, don't just. So love is, I have chosen you. I have made a choice to be committed to you. And that commitment is there regardless of what happens. When people say, I fall out of love, no, you fell out of feeling. But love is a choice you must stay true to.
Okay. Let's talk about marriages. honestly, Nigerian men, when it comes to marriages, many of them don't get it. I mean, they don't know. You see, they tell, oh, the home must be built by the woman. The woman must, but men too, they don't carry their weight. You know, someone was telling us about how to help with intimacy. And I was like, a lot of men have that issue of that, why would we have to prep a woman for so long before she's in the mood and everything? Like, intimacy in marriages has really gone down. Many people, many homes are complaining, many wives are complaining, many husbands are complaining, and especially in the homes of religious people. And people are quiet and dying in silence.
Well, one of the pandemic that we have right now is the pandemic of sexless marriage and over-sexed singles. Singles are having sex like mad. Immorality is everywhere. But couples are not having sex. I'm telling you, couples are not having sex. In the last 3 weeks alone, my wife and I have dealt with couples. One of them, they have not had sex since 2014. One of them, they've not had sex since 2024. And I'm like, my wife is like, are you guys all right? You know, so sex in marriage is a major issue right now. And there are many things that are causing social media. A lot of people are actually involved in all kinds of pornography, masturbation. So there is no way they can have passion for somebody they see when the image they have messed up themselves. So there is a lot that we are dealing with in that. So in marriage, you need to understand that it takes two, and you have to make it work. You have to continually work on your mind. We work on our body, we work on our air, we work on our car, but we don't work on our mind. We just think that it will be automatic. It's not automatic. You have to be intentional about ensuring that you play your part for that marriage to work. So in Christian homes, when you come together, communicate. And when it comes to this issue of sex in marriage, who taught us? So for us now, after my experience, what I did was we set up a marriage academy. So everyone that has gone through marriage in our church since 2008, so since 1998, they've gone through that class and they've talked about how it has helped them. There's no school of marriage. Boy meets girl meets boy love girl love boy and girl decide to marry, and bam, they are married. Nobody has taught them. Then by the next one, they say, you know, you're a married woman now, behave like a married woman. How does a married woman behave? You know, my married man now, you have to be a man. How does a man behave? So many of the things that we are supposed to know, nobody taught us. We don't know, so we are learning. Do you know that in our church and in many of the, because as a coach, we coach people who do all those things right now. By the time you are talking to people, even people that are virgins that get married, they don't know how to have sex. Some people are married 3 weeks, they have not done anything. But they are virgin, nobody taught them, they don't know. So nobody is teaching. So we need to ensure that before we get married, you go through a premarital counseling where they will deal with all the issues. So all those things you're talking about, our research has shown that sex issue and promiscuity starts when the woman is pregnant. When a woman is pregnant, they go through hormonal changes. Some of them, sex is like, I don't want it, don't touch me. But the man does not understand the hormonal change that is going on, because even the woman does not understand. Right. So at the end of the day, the man starts going out, or the woman picks up, everything's banned. The man says, you are not looking exciting to me anymore. Yeah. So, but when they go through the training, they are made to understand what happens. Right. So you are empathic. You know that this woman herself is going through a process, and that's how you help each other navigate this.
Let me come over to the audience. Anybody has any questions? Because we'll be bringing in his wife very soon. And where's the microphone? Let's pass.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Choma. So basically, you said something about this marital sex of eating and likes. So my question here is, number one, before I even ask the question, I say men are actually kind of the problem that we have. Okay. The reason why I said this was because you see some men, married men, like they're married with kids, but you see them going outside looking after the single ones. And I tend to ask myself, like, why is it always like that? Like, and yes, it's very
I'm married so much. You.
There are plenty.
They're disturbing you.
There are plenty. And the fact that they were like, even one of them is someone as example. One of them were like, why is it that it's very difficult for him to get me? I'm like, okay, what do you really want? He's married with 3 kids. Wow. Beautiful kids, so. Right. And I know the wife. There's nothing this man does not send to me. I will collect it, not vet, but that's what you're looking for. Right. I went as far as the wife knew, because me and the wife are very close. And I told the wife, and this man does not like give the wife money. Imagine. The wife asked for him like things. He said he does not have money, this and this and this. And I told the wife, even till date, the lady asked the man for something. Man, like, he does not have money. Right. So the wife started using me
to collect money.
If I ask him for money, we can give me like any amount.
Right.
So I will tell her, you gather what you want. Right. Tell me, I will join it with my own.
Okay. All right. But
I will join it with my own.
I get your question.
So you understand? So my question now is, why is it you should watch me on? So why is it like that? That most married men, they're not actually contented with the wife that they have, and they're always like looking outside.
Point taken. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just an irresponsible undisciplined man. If you are an irresponsible man, even if you have a beautiful wife, you have a beautiful family, you'll be looking for what is not lost. So it's not about the men, because men cheat, women cheat, but it's lack of discipline that makes people to do that. That's
Dr.
just the way it
Olumide, there are more women cheating today. Oh.
I
A lot
know.
of married women
I know.
that are cheating.
Yeah.
And it's become a really bad.
No, it's because, one of the things that has happened is with women liberation, a lot of women have come to the point where you do your own, I do my own.
Yeah.
Bass boss, give me aura for aura, fire for fire. So, and it has created a lot of, it's true. I say to people, pastors, lawyers, and doctors, what we know, only few people know. So yes, women cheat a lot.
Pastors, lawyers, and doctors.
Yeah.
Let me take one more question before I go on. Let me come to this side. Wait, Felicia. Let me bring to first timers. I want to hear from first timers. Abi? Okay, not your first time, but go ahead. Bring it forward to the lady next to Mama J. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Ma. Good morning, sir. My name is Chisomo Farugo. So my question goes thus. I have two questions. I hope I stay on track. So I've noticed that there's a stereotype around how that when you're dating a man knows that, okay, this girl is really nice. She goes out. She loves a certain kind of dress. She has a certain And then it's like, when you get married, it's like the atmosphere just changes. It's like the man says, oh, this is marriage now. Things are different. And for me, it's like, no, I'm still the same person. What's so different? The only thing is we are now, like, God accepts this marriage now. It's now, under law. Yes. Okay. So what changes drastically? Why do you want to see a different side to me that was never really there?
Fantastic.
Why do I have to conform to societal standards and not our standards?
Yeah,
Right. That's my first question.
Okay.
The second one is often ladies, I think it's ladies more, would say, oh, I got married to him. He was so caring, very sensitive, pays attention to my needs. He cares for me.
Right.
But when they get into the marriage, it's like they see a different side to him. It's like, who is this person? He's a stranger to me.
Right.
He doesn't pay so much attention to me. And some would even say domestic violence, not physical. I mean, mentally, emotionally, no support, or there's just a sort of, derogation.
Right.
That's my second question.
Okay.
Both questions are a bit similar. but
Yeah,
go ahead.
so one thing you need to understand is that men are different from women. Men are hunters in nature. They hunt. And once a man has hunted and have gotten the prey, in quotes, then he relax. He's looking for the next hunt. So what you need to understand is when the man is not married to you, he is wooing you. By wooing you, he will be calling you, be doing all those things. But now, when he now finally gets you, you are in the house now. You are in the bag. So why should I continue to woo? That's what a man that does not have understanding will think. But that's not the right thing to do. Now, the second thing is that when you are courting, the major challenge we have in our world today is ineffective courtship. A lot of people don't court. People prepare for wedding instead of preparing for marriage. Wedding is for a day, marriage is for a lifetime. When you are courting, that is when you are supposed to sit down and have real discussions. But people don't have those discussions. Now, when you sit down, we have what we call 101 common sense considerations that we give to people in our coaching class when we are taking them to premarital classes. When we give the one to the man and the woman, we tell them to go separately and go and fill the form. By the time they now submit it to us, we'll now give this one to this one, we'll now face them. You didn't tell me. I didn't know. Hey, so you are owing. You didn't tell me. So you want 7 children. It's only 2 children now. They don't discuss. So if you have discussed, all this issue of this is who I am, when I get married, this is who I will be, would have been discussed. A lot of men see an industrious woman. They are attracted to it, but when they get married, they are threatened by it. So what attracted them begins to threaten them. But if discussions have been asked, you have to be a full-time husband, you cannot do that. Don't talk to that person. These are the people I've been talking to that you met me with. Now you have married me, you don't want me to talk to them. Because the insecurity was not there when he was chasing you. When he was chasing you, it was like, will she agree? Will she not agree? The very me you agree, say, more, I don't conquer this one. Then the real person begins to manifest. So you need to have effective courtship. And then you as a woman must make sure that you already have discovered yourself before you marry.
Okay.
A lot of people don't discover themselves before they marry.
All of us.
Yeah, so by the time the man is coming, it's as if he's doing you a favor. You are looking down on yourself. You are looking for a sponsor instead of a husband. So if the man now comes as a sponsor and sees you without value, he will believe that you are one of the acquisitions that he has. Okay. So if you discover yourself and you understand yourself, you'll be able to lay your terms and say, look, no, this is not going to happen. No, we're going to do this. This is how we're going to have it. You do it and that's the way it works.
Thank you very much. Let me take this question from online. It says, hello, Dr. Olumide. How important is temperament and love language in a relationship in leading to marriage?
It's very important, but you see, as a Christian, I believe in what I call spirit-controlled temperament.
Okay.
Because what you call temperaments, sometimes they are psychological lists that people have identified, which is valid, but many of them can be overruled when you submit to the Holy Spirit to help you. So love language is very important. Love language simply means, how do you want to be loved? Because the psychological thing for a lot of people to do is to love people in a way that makes them feel loving. not to love people in a way that make the people feel loved. You want to buy, yeah. So you are loving them in a way that makes you feel like good.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, you are loving people in a way that makes you feel like a loving person. But is the person feeling love?
Yeah.
So you are a man. Every time you want to buy something for your wife, a woman complained in a marriage meeting we had. He said the guy is very selfish. The guy said, "How am I selfish?" And he said, "I buy you this." I said, "Have you noticed that everything you buy for me is what only you can see?" So the man is always buying bras, panties, negligee. And the man said, "You are selfish. You have never bought me wristwatch that I can show my friend.
Yeah.
You have never bought me shoe that I can. But anything you are buying is the one that will satisfy you. That you are buying." But the man didn't see it.
Right.
So yes, there are love language. You need to find out what is people's love. Some people's love language is money. That's why you can see a woman will be a third wife, be a fourth wife. She's not a problem.
And
As far as I'm a soft life.
All right,
So,
let me pause you. Let's not finish all the knowledge because you have to bring in your wife very quickly. But while we're going to very short, before I go on a break, somebody said that should a woman deny her husband because her husband is not supporting her?
No, you can't deny yourself. You see, in marriage, sex is for recreation and procreation. Where any marriage without sex is not a marriage. Once take marriage out of sex, you are not married. Because even if you marry and you don't have sex, when you go to the courts, it's not divorce, it's dissolution. Because there is no marriage without consummation. So if there is no sex in that marriage, there is no marriage. The law even recognizes that if you separate from somebody for 2 years, the marriage is over.
But
So
what if somebody is married to somebody and maybe after 5 years they stop having sex and they die until like 30 years?
there's no marriage, you are just cohabiting. You are just living together. There's no because see, there is nothing you can do for your spouse that nobody else can do. The only thing nobody else can do is sex. If you cook for him, somebody else can cook for him. If you wash clothes, somebody can wash clothes. If you stay in his house, somebody can. So the only thing you can do, if somebody wash clothes for your husband, feed your husband has not done anything wrong. But having sex with somebody else becomes wrong. So the only thing you can do that nobody else can do is, so the day you remove that one, you are not different from the marriage.
Your brother and sister. How are you doing? Good to have you.
I'm good. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us.
I know you're very shy, but thank you for coming. We wanted to bring the two of you on because we've learned so much from Dr. Olumide. But it's also good to learn from his wife because many people, you lead a church and you lead a lot of women and people learn from you. But those of us outside don't know much about you. The first question I wanted to ask you, you saw a man that's coming with quite a bit of baggage. And I say baggage meaning that he has been through a lot. And you decided that this is the man you still wanted to marry. A lot of young people will see a man like this and will pick risks because they don't want drama. They don't want one woman to show up tomorrow and say, I have 2 children somewhere, or all that drama. But I would have believed that you thought it through and you decided that, woman, how did you arrive at that decision? We know God led you, but how did you arrive at that decision physically?
So thank you for the question. And you've answered it already. God led me because if he had not led me, the things I'd gone through in the few years that we've been together, I would have stepped outside. I mean, left the marriage, right? But I had a word for myself from scriptures such that anytime there's a shaking, I go to it and it gives me the constant assurance that God is with me.
Right.
God is in it with me. I am not there alone. And so that's it.
I like that because a decision, love is a decision. I think he told us that it's a decision that I'm going to stay here. Now, what is it about? So we know the God part. I didn't want to focus so much on the God part because we know God exists. Yeah, he's a pastor, you're a pastor. But what was the attraction aside from the God factor? What was it about this man that you felt that, okay, I would like to spend the rest of my life with him? Is he soft? Is he kind? Is he loving? I mean, just because when we see Dr. Olumide outside, who is he really?
So at the onset, there was no attraction.
Ah, really? That's the second person that knows this week. Okay.
He used to be my pastor. He's still my pastor.
Yeah. Yes.
So, as a matter of fact, I had spoken to him about 2 other relationships that I was involved in. Okay, so there was one where the guy was traveling out. I was with a guy and he was traveling out, and I'd gone to him because the way we were brought up in church, anytime you're in a relationship, you come tell your pastor, you carry them along and all that. So I went to him and told him that this guy is traveling, we are together, what do you think I should do? And he told me, break it at the airport. Once you follow him to the airport, you see him to the airport, just break it there, because people think that when they get to wherever they are going to, they will pick money on the road. They don't know that they will face challenges when they get there.
Right.
So don't let him tie you down.
Right.
Thinking that you have somebody abroad and then you are in a relationship here and the people are coming around, you are saying there's somebody abroad, so break it at the end. So that was the first one. That was what I did.
Right.
I broke it. In fact, no, I didn't. But the guy now called after 6 months that I should give him a break, that he needed a break. So that was what happened. Then we had a break. Another one came up again that I also went to meet with him. So there was no attraction. That is where I'm going.
There was respect.
Yeah,
Because it was your pastor.
yeah. There was no attraction. It didn't even occur to me.
Yeah.
That was why when he
So
came,
what
I was
changed?
surprised.
What point did it change that, okay, this man, maybe I can marry this man?
That day he just called me we're having a program in church, and then he asked me to come see him. And then I was wondering, in fact, his house where we're living now, very far out of town.
Right.
And when I was going that day, I said, this place is foul. I'll never come back here again. I didn't know that.
You're going to become living there.
So when I got there that day, and then he told me the reason why he sent for me, that was when my mind opened up to it.
Possibility.
I began to think about it and began to
Right.
consider. Okay.
So were you giving her eye before and she didn't listen? I had to let me just call her for a meeting. Like,
No. The day she was talking about, it was a program.
Yes.
And when I've been praying, it's been 7 years of staying alone, 7
Okay.
years of celibacy, 7 years of just, I had to go through my own healing process.
Right.
When I was leaving home that morning, God spoke to me and said, you are going to meet your wife today.
wow.
And he said, the program you are going to, you meet your wife. When I got to the venue of the event,
Right.
as I was about to come out of the car, he said, when you get into the hall right now, your wife is on the stage with microphone in her hands.
Wow.
So when I got into the hall, there were 2 people.
Right.
She and another lady.
Yeah.
They were both on the stage emceeing the event, and they
right.
were holding microphones. So I'm
Okay.
like,
They won't know.
which one of them? So at that point, I'm like, okay. I looked at the 2. I said, no problem. So I now went the week after I traveled.
Right.
So she's light in complexion, the other one is dark. I traveled. When I got to the UK,
Right.
immediately I finished speaking, my friend came and said, I want to see you. Is there any woman? I said, why? He said, an elder in their church came to see him and said, that's your friend. Is he not married? I said, no, he's not married, he's divorced. He said, hey, because I saw him with one small yellow girl. Hope he's not. I said, she saw a yellow girl. I said, okay, no problem, that there's nobody. But for me, it's like, okay.
Confirmation.
The next church I went to, the next week, immediately I got there, I finished preaching. My friend said, come, my wife wants to see you. I saw the woman. He said, Pastor, I had a dream that you met somebody. And she's light in complexion. And she brought her album.
Wow.
She's still alive today, Ronke Olulano in London.
Wow.
If you see her and you see my wife, they're like twins.
Wow.
She brought her album and said, this is the person I saw. She looks like me when I was in the university.
Wow.
And that's the exact picture.
Whow.
So it was after that, I now called
now
her and said,
call
come,
for
I
her.
want to see you.
Wow.
Yeah,
so the Dr. Olumide Emmanuel we see outside, is it the same inside the house? When I say inside the house, as in, because what we see is a leader in control. You know, he just knows everything. You know, but inside the house, who is really in control?
He's in control.
Oh, nice. Okay.
He's in control. And in the house, he's calmer.
Calmer.
Yeah, he's loving.
Right.
The dynamics in our home is a bit different. He's more in the kitchen
Wow.
than I am.
Wow.
So I know how to cook, but I don't enjoy
You
cooking.
don't enjoy cooking.
But he loves it. We call him Chef Lumi.
Wow. Chef Lumi. Okay, Chef Lumi.
And then anything electronics,
Yeah.
he doesn't like it. He doesn't know how to change bulbs or
Right.
anything. So I take care
You
of
do
that.
that. Okay. Nice. So Chef Lumi, what's your favorite food that you like to cook? Which food?
Oh, it's beans and plantain.
Beans and plantain. Yeah, that one is easy now. We thought we say like a 40 roll and 7 lives inside.
I know if it's swallowed, then we'll go into all those. But I'm a chef, actually. I cook.
So I hear that. I mean, do you have helps? Because someone else gave me just that you guys don't use help. You both of you are very hands-on.
Oh, so when we were cutting,
Yeah.
that was part of what we discussed. So he told me that he didn't want anyone living with us, and
Oh, wow.
I agreed to that.
Until now.
Till now,
Yeah,
Wow.
we've never had any help. We do
Whoa.
everything by ourselves.
What? You thought you were traveling around the world?
Washing, ironing, everything. So I do all the ironing. Like this morning now, iron all the clothes. You will bring you as okay, you're ironing. So
Mr. Brown, did you hear that? Please, somebody should call my phone. He has to come here.
So she washes. We have washing machine and she washes both with wash machine and with
wow.
but I do all the ironing. She doesn't iron.
Wow.
She only irons once in a while. And then when it comes to cooking, she knows how to cook.
Yeah.
So I do most of the cooking. So if you come to our house, you probably see them watching TV. I'm in the kitchen. Okay, I want to go to bye-bye. But one day you will now come. You will see her on the table changing bulb. And me, I'm always saying, bye-bye, wicked. So you can. It's the dynamics.
Yeah.
I do school run. I do more. I believe in the
Oh,
family.
fantastic. Let me come to you because you counsel a lot of women. How is it when you speak to women and many of them are not happy in their homes? What are the common mistakes women make in selecting or accepting a man's proposal in their life? What are the common mistakes we make?
So the thing is, when such women come for counseling, one thing that crosses my mind is what happened along the way. Because for you to have decided or agreed to accept the man's proposal, you people must have been in love, right? Or maybe at one point in time in the relationship you fell in love. So what happened that you then fell out? And I think one major reason is because most women do not discover themselves before they enter into the marriage.
Right.
You know, looking at the Bible, it says that I will make a helpmate suitable. So the man is supposed to be doing something that he needs help with. That is why he will tell the woman, will you marry me and all that. And so she comes into his life to come help him with whatever he's doing. But even as she's helping him accomplish his purpose and his ambitions and all that, she's also supposed to also live her own life too.
Right.
But women, they get, some of us, we get into the marriage, we begin to have children, and then we focus on the kids. And then when the kids are grown up, you discover that the woman and the man, they've drifted apart.
Right.
No friendship,
Right.
no love. And the issue is that the woman never discovered herself before she
Right.
went into the marriage.
Right.
It is always a good thing when a woman knows who she is, what she wants from life, where she's going before she enters into the marriage.
Fantastic. I love that. I'm going to pass. Okay, I know we don't have a microphone for you, but maybe you can get. Anybody has a question? So Valentine's Day is on Saturday, and everybody's talking about Valentine. What's my husband giving me? What was my wife giving me? Or stuff like that. And the commercialization of Valentine has been so in our faces. As a couple who've been married, how many years now? At least 15 years. How do you think Valentine is such a time where we should remind ourselves about love, or should be every other day, as we've always done?
Oh, so I believe it should be every other day, right? You don't have to wait till Valentine before you give your partner a gift. You give them a gift anytime, any moment. However, on Valentine, you can reinforce the love.
Does Ogari reinforce?
Oh, yeah, he does.
How does he reinforce? Give us an example of what he has done. Maybe not this year, last year. What did he do last year?
For Valentine?
Yes. If it was memorable, you remember.
I can't remember.
He didn't do anything. Ha!
Wow.
We've caught you.
Every Valentine we do, myself and my son will come. But his gift is not because we are always
Always giving gifts. So it's not,
so
it's not a big deal for you.
Yeah.
So what are you doing for him this weekend? What are you guys planning this weekend?
We're going to the beach.
Yeah, so we're going to the beach. But beyond going to the beach, I have a surprise for him.
Ah.
But it's no longer a surprise now because
And me, I also have a surprise for him.
Okay.
And
So
when I went to talk to my boy, and I said, so we need to prepare like last year for Mommy Valentine. I said, no, that Mommy will come to me, you two will come to me, you people should not involve the two of you. So when he said that's okay, I will not in plan. So
that's good. We love that. Have any questions here? Yes. Okay. Mama J wants to ask.
Good morning.
I just back to your style. Yesterday you dressed like grandma. Today you're back to your yuppie side. Go ahead.
So Jolade, I want you to throw light and advice to, like you cited an example of someone that has been off having sex with both themselves since 2014. So I want, because
it's actually 2004. It's not 2014.
Oh,
Yeah.
2004. Wow.
How many years that's?
22 years.
Whoa. Yeah, I have something similar. That the woman in question, this person is a sister and a friend. The person in question, she loves the man. But the man is always arrogant and is not always listening. Is too manipulative. Let me put it that way. How do such woman continue to endure this kind of treatment? Because what she's experiencing is tantamount to what you said. Because when I heard it, I thought when she discussed it, I thought it was a joke.
Yeah. In that kind of situation, what do you do? Just keep praying.
It's really sad. It's really sad that people should be put through that. So it's sad. That's just it, because I can't even comprehend it. But it happens. And like I said, the last 3 weeks we've dealt with like 3 already. And these are not old
what's the solution?
people.
Just leave it.
Yeah, the solution is for them to come to the right people, professionals, for counseling. Then they go through a coaching session. Like the last one we had now, by the time we were done with them, they saw the issue.
Yeah.
And the issue is a combination of a lot of other issues.
Yeah.
So that's why. So the man is afraid of touching the wife so that she will not get pregnant. Because they agreed not to have a child.
Right.
And when they agreed not to have a child, they got married. And then first 6 months, they did honeymoon, then they didn't do anything for 6 months. The woman was coming, then they did, then the woman now got pregnant. So you betrayed my trust. We agreed not to get pregnant. But now, why don't you do family planning? The woman doesn't believe in family planning because they have messed her up by telling her family planning. So the man says, you see, so now we have told them, once you do family planning, the man will now return to do what it is because he's afraid that I don't have money. You have first child, second child. So we have to get to the root. So most of the time it's root. We dealt with a case one time. The man could not sleep with the woman because he was in the labor room when she gave birth to the child and saw blood, saw everything. From that day, he lost erection. He lost love. You mean I'm the one that put this woman through this thing? Blood. So going to the theater with the wife was the problem. So we had to take him through therapy. So it's not prayer. The problem with people is we say, come and pray, cast out devil. No, we have to find out the roots and take you through the process to help you heal again. Those are the things.
Thank you.
So for most of those things is resentment. So there's what we call insulation and erosion. So babe, please touch it. So now if I touch her now, she's feeling my hand. But now if you put a POP on the hand and I touch her, she will no more feel it.
Yeah.
I'm still touching, but she's not feeling it anymore.
Yeah.
So when you say I don't feel love, it's because there are things that are unresolved issues. There are resentments, unresolved issue, continual offense that are. So what we do is to now begin to remove the POP one by one until you come back to love again.
Elijah, okay. Go ahead. Now come to Elijah. Morning. Is it on? I can't hear you, but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Vivian.
Hi, Vivian.
I want to ask your advice to someone who is well over 40, and a married lady, and of course a Nigerian. And this is someone who has probably has been in a relationship that didn't work out. It was terrible. And the person who grew up in a home where it was toxic growing up. Person had an idea of marriage as a terrible thing,
right,
as something that is bad. And this person is over 40. And the person is blaming almost everyone and everything, including herself. And sometimes even saying that it might even be spiritual problem. And will say that this and that, I'm not getting the right guys,
right,
I'm not doing this. How can that person manage herself with the age and everything?
Right. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so she's traumatized.
Let me pass it to Elijah, please. Go ahead.
From what you've said, the lady is traumatized and she needs to go for counseling sessions. Needs to go see a therapist to bring her out of that because she's afraid of falling in love. She's afraid of getting married, thinking that she will go through what her parents experienced. So she's traumatized.
Right. So she definitely needs to go through.
So be healed and stay hopeful.
Let me come to Elijah. Yes.
Yeah. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma. My question is this: ever since God created marriage, we are told and should expect there will be problems in marriage. There are some problems that cannot be. I don't think there are some times that some marriages cannot be redeemed. Like to get to a certain stage, you would have tried all, what do you call it, to make it work.
Yes.
It's not working. Now there's this African mentality again that stay for your children's sake. Don't leave the marriage. Do you know what will happen to the children when you leave? You know that kind of thing. Now, as a woman, you'll be thinking, okay, if I leave this marriage, the kids will suffer. If I stay in this marriage,
the kids will suffer.
Like, you understand? So, what in this situation, what should the woman do? Right. Even if it might happen to a man too.
Right.
So, should children be the reason why the partner will stay,
gotcha,
like irrespective of the situation in that marriage?
Right.
Okay, so a few things just to clear the air. Number one, there is no problem that cannot be solved, except a problem we cannot discuss. As long as we're not, even though the war, Ukraine war, Russia war, they will still come and discuss at the end of the day. So there is no problem that cannot be solved. It takes two people. If the two of you are willing to make it work, make the sacrifice, make the adjustment, it will work. Number two, there is nothing like expect problem. Life is normal. When you leave home in the morning, it can start raining. You might get to the bus stop. The car may have a problem. It's not a problem. It's life. So life will happen. It doesn't mean expect problem, but expect to go through life. Life has its own normal things. When you are pregnant, your tummy will swell. When you wake up in the morning, you have to have your bath. So it's normal. So let's not look at it as if there's problem. So marriage is beautiful. Marriage can be enjoyed. It doesn't have to be a problem. Now, to answer your question, please listen and listen well. If you stay in a marriage and you're saying it's because of the children, you have already damaged the children. Whether you go or you stay, what they have experienced has become a software that will affect them, that they will need to be delivered from. All this is we are talking about now is the upbringing of all of us that's affecting us now. And we are still trying to be free from our upbringing. Now you are doing the same thing to your children. So when you have a problem with your spouse, sort it out. Don't let the children be part of the equation. And if you have to stay for you, not because of children. Because whether you stay or you don't stay, you're already causing trouble for the children.
All right. I think we have to wrap up with you. We've run out of time. I mean, time has been fast today. We've done almost an hour. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Ma, for coming.
Thank you.
Any final words for us? Just advice, because Valentine is coming.
Oh, well, yeah. So for a marriage, for a couple, you need to know why you are in that marriage. Why are you married? Because issues will come up, like we've heard. Challenges will come up. But you shouldn't be in that marriage and then be thinking that you want to have an exit plan. If the two of you can make things work, you decide to make things work, then things will work for you. Within the little time that I have, let me share, a little story where my husband and I were, I think, on our way to church that day, and we were in the car, we're having an argument. My husband hardly gets angry. Hardly. So that day when we were having that talk, I was upset, he too was upset. And then I saw that his own upset was, it was madder than my own upset. And then I was like, okay, I've seen this guy without being upset. Now I'm seeing him like this. I don't like him like this. And so I made up my mind that I will keep the peace.
Yes.
not keep the peace to my own detriment, but ensure that we speak and we communicate. And that's one thing that's really been helping us. So please, in your marriage, ensure you communicate. Don't sweep things under the carpet. Don't just walk away when you are having challenges or issues, because you will have challenges, you will have issues. Discuss it. Don't walk away. That's my final word.
Thank you very much. We'll bring you back to talk about this communication thing, because me, is in levels, though. Depending on the kind of husband. If you're married and a kitty man, you don't listen. Communication. Let me not complain. But thank you very much for coming.
Thanks
It's a
for
pleasure
having
having you. Thank you.
So, at the end of the day, whether you are married or not, this is not something to joke with, because one wrong decision can affect years of your life. And for me, I'm not willing to learn from experience. Even though I'm not married yet, I choose to learn from wisdom. If this made you think, don't just watch and scroll. Like the video, share it with someone who needs it. And if you want more real conversation like this, smash the like button and subscribe. Stay connected, because some mistakes are better avoided than corrected.